Greetings, I'm Parisha and I want to welcome you to our Third World Parliament. I am here gathered with a few friends and we are actually exploring some very exciting topics. And I wanted to speak to you and actually include you in this wonderful occasion of our unity parliament, that we are actually pulling together millions of people and actually being broadcast all over the world. So we can thank the virus for the fact that now we have actually begun to use the technical bases that are actually very easily accessed in order to speak all the way across the world. So I come to you and speak today from the totality of all the ancestors who have come before me, that are present today as we join together, as all of you are the same. So when we move toward actually exploring what we're doing in world unity and actually asking us all to consider that we have a major role in it, I would like you to know that you count. You do make the difference, and what you think and what you feel matters. And we begin to awaken to that as we come to understand that we are consciousness and that we are all that is, meaning everything that we exist in. We are not in the universe is in us. Ever hear that? Well, now we're exploring that. How exciting is that we're exploring that? And we're finding that in differences, there is such love and harmony, to see the contrast, to see the very contrast of our bodies, our hair, our texture, our skin, to see all of that reflected in nature. Right now, where I'm at, we're actually having the change of colors in the leaves. And this is September, we're moving into October. So in October, the particular time of the year that I celebrate my birthday, and I will be 80 years old this year. And when I'm looking at that and I realize I love this time of the year, could not have been a more appropriate time to be born. So I want to start out with defining what I want and feel very needed today is understanding spirituality. Spirituality is not a religion. Religion itself is a Latin word, relectio, and it means to the source, reflecting to the source. In spirituality, Creator is the source of us all. And then we have the many wonderful, exciting ways of worship, that we can see different perspectives of how we want the one source to represent what it is in our life. Where we are and how we worship has more to say about us than our differences. It is our uniqueness. And in all worship, we are all speaking and moving to the same source, Creator. Whatever sacred word we use for that is to be respected and understood. We are talking about the one that is in all things. So in spirituality, we are now coming to a greater consciousness and awareness of that we in ourselves, we are energy. So we move past actually seeing ourselves as just a body. We are more than a body. And in that, we are included and a part of everything that exists. How much more power do you want? How much more can you make happen when you accept that? So that we don't have to struggle with our differences. We have to celebrate them. We have to understand the uniqueness of that in itself is very important. And that as we grow to understand the harmony of that, then like looking across the beautiful meadow, we see the bees, we see the bear, we see the wolf, we see the eagle, the hawk, the raven. And we see all existing in nature in this beautiful meadow, this beautiful valley. And yes, the food chain is there. And yes, the serpents are there. So we have to be aware of the fact that we live in a duality. While we can still celebrate the beauty, we have to have the intelligent consciousness of knowing how to work with it all and be safe and in harmony. And when we begin to do that, then the unity begins to come of itself. Everything still has the existence of a life, and that life has purpose. And in your purpose, you have the ability to explore all that you need to of this worldly understanding, to become consciously aware of how to change it and work with it, and to understand that its contrasts are a part of its very beauty and its wealth, and that we begin to let that all come to be part of us. We look around and we understand through all of the sciences and research that we have now that 99.9% of what we think is invisible. Less than 1% is matter, is physical. So when we look around us and we take issues with our physical world, we are very, very much limiting ourselves, right? To where we can have it all and make it good and make it beautiful. In my particular tradition, the earth and the keeping of the earth is one of our responsibilities, to care for it, to do our best to always stay in great respect of it. And so in that, then all life becomes extremely important. So you respect all life. And that would mean the serpent as well as the butterfly. Okay, that means understanding the role and the very existence of everything and allowing it to have its purposefulness. I explore and work very much with interpreting ancient tablets and exploring ancient civilizations. And one of the beautiful parts of that is how I've learned that we have ancient future, that our future is definitely very much attached to the ancient tablets and the ancient civilizations. We are cyclic in nature. Everything in our universe is cyclic. So as we have been, we are going to pass that way again. What we need and struggle with as far as consciousness is that each time we come to that circle, we are actually doing the spiral, and soon we'll spiral it right out into that universal mind. Where are we at on the spiral? Well, we're at a place to where chaos is actually very active in actually having us make decisions and actually see things from the center of our own being. We can say that our governments are not fulfilling what we want. Really? How could we expect any one person to account for the millions that need attention and understanding? How can we allow only a handful of people to take the blame for everything that's not working? How can we go to a church on a weekly basis and think that touching even but a moment of grace and spirituality is going to suffice for the whole week? Every day is a Sunday. Every day the sun comes to us. Every day we have the opportunity to celebrate and be of the Sabbath, to be of the very source. And when we include that in everything that we are, then everything starts taking a whole different outcome. Then we are in touch with the greater source of existence. All the sciences and studies that I've worked with for years have proven nothing different than what I learned at my grandmother's side as a child of 7 and 8, 9 years old. We exist in the permanent state of everlastingness in a different dimension. We are only a reflection of that here. And how we reflect with that with everything else is the harmony. So as we move through these 2 or 3 days of actually celebrating our Third World Parliament, I ask all of you to look at the importance of yourself, why it is necessary for it to be whole only if you're here. You matter, you count, and you make the difference. So all of us coming into the same mindset of seeking unity, to looking at each other and not just stopping at our differences, but to seek understanding of those differences, to make those differences so minuscule that they do not blind us to the beauty in our contrast. Our world, our third world, our third field is fundamentally just duality. So there is black, there is white, there is good, there is bad, there is love, there is hate. One cannot exist without the other. Where do you walk? Where do you spend your beautiful life? Take a breath and let it be always the best of what you are. Let your words always speak the kindness of what you can. There are times that words will fall out of our mouth in anger or some other sort of emotion. But always at the base of it, there is love and respect. Let us make sure that in these 3 days, you're going to be hearing from wonderful, exciting people who have actually practiced and have different ways of expressing this beauty and this love. And I want you to make sure you enjoy everybody that's taken time to actually be here and be a part of this. You have come to be part of the great circle, and that circle is unity. And as we rise above our own smallness, we reach the heights of that consciousness. May it always be that we are one, and in all things oneness exists. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you very much for being with us today. Okay, and we will talk again soon. Thank you very much, and be all there is love.